Yo, what up? It's your boy 410 Josh. We back in the building. Fresh off the Thanksgiving holiday. Hope everybody's had a great holiday. So, told y'all I was going to treat y'all to a two-part episode on hip hop 4123, and I'm right here to deliver it for y'all. But before we get into the show, make sure if you haven't done it, you do so already. You go to that YouTube page, 410 Josh, hip hop _ 4123. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, and we can chop it up, interact. You can hit me in the inbox if you got new music. If you're an independent artist, you got new music you want me to post or talk about. If you want to, just chop it up. You got some questions you want to ask or things you want to, talk about the show. I'll be more than willing, to sit down and have a conversation with y'all. So real quick, I am in a different part of the house. Got some work going on in my normal space that I normally do my show. That's kind of why I got my hoodie on. It's just a little nippy and, I was out, doing some things. So I'm just trying to warm up from the outside. So right now, we about to take Throwback Thursday and make it temporarily Flashback Friday for the day. So we're going to get into our Flashback Friday segment. We got two iconic artists with two iconic albums, one for the females, one for the males. And these two albums are two of the biggest game changers in hip hop. It's not even a debate whether these artists are influential, impactful, and really, change the landscape of hip hop. So the first artist we're going to get into is the legendary, the iconic Kim Jones, aka Lil Kim. Her first album, debut Hardcore, came out November 12th of 1996. This album is 27 years old. This album, I don't even know how to really put into words how influential this album was, but I'm gonna tell you how I first heard about Lil Kim. Like most artists, we heard her through Biggie. Heard her on the Junior Mafia Get Money, and her verse was just iconic. I mean, the song itself was iconic, but her verse alone, like to this day, you could put on Get Money and it's really going to just light up the club, light up the party, the cookout, wherever you at. It's one of them songs that is just the epitome of timeless record. And when I heard Lil Kim, I was just like, oh, okay, she can rap. And, mind you, when she came out, I was like 13, 14. So when I heard her, I was like, okay, she can really rap. When I seen her as a kid, I was like, okay, yeah, she gonna be my girlfriend when I get older. So yeah, she was my little crush back when I was a teenager. But this album, Hardcore, I mean, when she came out, I mean, Kim literally forever changed hip hop. The cultural impact of Hardcore from the day she came out, and she just debuted, with that iconic pose with her in the leopard bikini and leopard bra and panties, with her legs open with the fur, standing on the bare carpet. It was just from that day forward, like females in hip hop, the game was changed completely. I mean, so many iconic records on this album. I mean, the whole album is a classic top to bottom, but you got records like Big Mama Thing with Jay-Z. You got Crush on You, which is like, man, that song alone and that video alone. A lot of people, give Nicki Minaj the credit for the color waves of the wig. I'm going to have to really disagree with what people are saying, because if you go back to that video, that was the first wave of color wigs for females. And I think any female from the 90s can vouch for that. Lil' Kim was the first female we seen with blue wigs, blue hair, green hair, red hair, yellow hair, orange hair, pink hair. It's like she made it cool for hair to be a color wave. She songs like Drugs, Scheming, Queen Bitch, Dreams, We Don't Need It, which was on the Sunset Park soundtrack. She had Player Haters, Mafia Land. The list just goes on about this album. And the impact that it had on me, it let me know, like, okay, if I want to rap and I wanted to, as a teenager, I wanted to have like my own record label, I needed to find a Lil' Kim-esque, artist, somebody that was sexy, somebody that could spit, not just spit, but she was spitting with dudes, and I posted this a while ago. I got a little flack for it, but everybody know that it's true. I don't think Lil' Kim gets the credit she deserves as one of the best rappers of all time, one of the best spitters. You got to remember, she came out in an era in the prime of Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, DMX, Prodigy, and the Lox. She's got records with all of them. And every one of those records she did with those iconic artists and legends, she's got a standout verse. Like she has a memorable verse along with every single one of them artists that I named. So, so for me, it's like she is, as far, in my opinion, she is the greatest female hip hop artist of all time and the most influential artist of all time. If you rank her, you might not rank her. Some people don't want to rank her as the, best rapper, but okay, she you might not think that she is a better rapper than, let's say, a Raw Digger, but her impact and what she did for the culture, for what she did for females and hip hop in general, it's forever etched in stone. If you look at what Kim did, it wouldn't be, I'll be honest with you, you wouldn't have, Foxy, you wouldn't have, Remy, the Iggy Azaleas, all the females that came after her that has any type of sex appeal and rapping, they got to pay homage to Lil' Kim, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, they are all branches of the tree of Lil' Kim. So you definitely got to give it to Lil' Kim for what she meant, her impact and influence on hip hop. Because honestly, if it wasn't for her today, I don't think that females would be able to sell records the way that they do, because it changed from the tomboyish B-girl look to sexy supermodel, trophy girl, however you want to call it. She laid the blueprint. To this day, that blueprint is still used for females in hip hop. So salute to Lil' Kim. She's the absolute GOAT. Next, we're going to get into, these two, it really needs no introduction. Next, we're going to get into the iconic, one of our earliest pioneers, two of our earliest pioneers, rap duo, Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full. When you talk about, well, first let's start with this. This album came out July 7th, 1987. So this album is literally 36 years old. I mean, the culture, the first time I heard of Eric B. and Rakim, I heard the record. I got to give it to my cousin, Tyrell. I was at my aunt's house, my Aunt Frances' house, rest in peace to her. And I heard him playing the record. And I was like, what's this? And he had the big, big boom box, and I was listening to it, and I just thought it was cool. And actually, that was my first introduction to hip hop. Like, before that, I didn't really, I was about 6 or 7 years old. I didn't know nothing about rap. But when I heard that record, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool, especially as a little kid. Cultural impact of Paid in Full. I mean, it's real. I could really do an entire segment, an entire episode on this. This album really is the lyricist Bible. If you are a lyricist or anybody consider themselves a lyricist in hip hop, this is your Bible. He changed the way the rhyme patterns were, because prior to him, you had like Brucey B, doing like party type raps, and who could rock the party the most. And then everybody know Kumo D came with the battling, and he changed the landscape and how you rap and came more aggressive. And then Rakim just came in the game and just smoothed everything out, just laid back, just talking some real, just smooth, lyrical, not on no overly tough, guys, tough guy mode. Like you could look at it and tell like, okay, these were some street dudes, but now they on a different path. They get into the money, and, they really, doing their thing with this hip hop. Again, the cultural impact. I mean, there's not a rapper that wasn't influenced by this album. I mean, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, DMX, Prodigy, Big L, Big Pun, Lil Kim, Mobb Deep, M.O.P., The Lox, Jesus, Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Common, The Roots, Black Thought. I can go on and on. Snoop, Ice Cube. I can just go on and on and on. There is no rapper in hip hop today that did not study Rakim Paid in Full. If you didn't study Rakim Paid in Full, it means you just grew up in an era. You must have grown up in this era, or, maybe just the 2000s era. But there's nobody that doesn't know this album, there's nobody that didn't study this album. You had to, if you wanted to learn songwriting. And the genius thing about this album, there's a documentary, called, what's that called? The Art of MCing. Rakim talked about how he creates his rhymes. And it's so genius. Like he could do this, So what he does, he takes a piece of paper and he makes 6 dots on the piece of paper. And once in the space between those 6 dots, it's like he said he sees a graph of how many words and syllables he can put. So between each dot is like, that's one verse, this is another verse. So, and depending on how, wide he wants to stretch it, how many bars he wants to put in, that's how he creates an entire verse. I mean, there's no way you can duplicate that. It's just no way, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. And he said he got that type of inspiration because he used to play the saxophone. So as he's writing his rhymes, he's hearing the notes of a saxophone in his head. So it's like you really have to be musically inclined, lyrically inclined, and genius, and really a genius level to understand or even be able to do that. The track listing, it speaks for itself. I ain't no joke. Eric B on the cut. My Melody was the very first hip hop song that I ever heard. Like that was the first hip hop record, like I ever heard in my life. So, I know you got soul, Move the Crowd, Paid in Full, As the Rhythm Goes, Chinese Arithmetic, Eric B for President, the classic Paid in Full, record, extended beat. I mean, this album really is the personification of what hip hop is. So if you really want to know hip hop, you want to know hip hop culture, you want to know what hip hop really means, what it means to be an MC and a lyricist and a songwriter. When you hear rappers talk about pen game, this is what pen game is. This is the epitome of what pen game is. So, the impact and influence it had on me personally, again, this was my introduction to hip hop. This is the first hip hop song I ever heard, first thorough hip hop album I listened to completely. So, it's like it's like if I was a baby, Rakim was like my first couple steps that I was taking into this culture. So, we got to salute the God MC, because without him, I mean, I think 95% of rap, and especially the 90s era, probably 100% of the 90s era would not even be here if it wasn't for Rakim. So yeah, definitely got to get them their cultural impact, influence on me. So shout out to Lil Kim for what she contributed to this culture, and shout out to Rakim for what he contributed to this culture. I know I just spoke about this a little while ago. He just got an award received by Nas from the Paid in Full Foundation, where he got $500,000 and some health benefits to, take care of him and, provide for his family. So that's a really big thing. So, give it up, for two iconic game changing artists, Lil Kim and Rakim. So next thing we're going to jump into is our Friday releases and our reviews. So, I'm not going to lie, today was another light day for hip hop. I think it's because, we at the end of the year. And if you know anything about hip hop, usually around, September, October, the music industry starts to shut down. So it's not a whole lot of releases coming out. But we got a couple releases, and we're going to get into a few tracks. And first one, we're going to get into the albums first before we get into the songs. So the album that is probably the biggest release of the day is Busta Rhymes' new album, Blockbuster. It's been 3 years since Busta dropped his last album, ELE2, The Wrath of God. So he came with this new album, Blockbuster. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This album was just decent to me. Busta, I never questioned Busta's lyricism or the type of artist he is, but the sound that he was going for on this album was just okay, because it seemed like he was trying to get with was trying to do more modern day type records, trying to get like trying to attract almost like a younger crowd. So he got the hit single on here was Okay, featuring Young Thug. And it was okay. I'm not gonna lie. It was just okay for me. I like both of them. I like Thug and I like Busta, but this song was cool. First three records, he had The Statement, Remind 'Em with Quavo, and Beach Ball featuring Bia. They were kind of like almost trap type records, made to be like hit records, but I think he was chasing a sound for a younger audience, or trying to attract a younger audience, but it was decent. It wasn't trash, but it was just decent. One of my favorite songs, he got on here is, Could It Be You with Blast. I like Blast a lot. I think he got a lot of potential. One of the, the melodic type rappers, does kind of the song, sing rapping. Then he had Luxury Life with Coi Leray, where he sampled Jay-Z's Ain't No Nigga. Um, I'm not gonna lie. I would have preferred a different beat. Cause I think that Busta, has delivered some incredible, hit records on his own as singles. I don't think, I don't think that beat should have been for this record. Yeah, Big Everything, that was cool. Another record I do like, Robo Shotter with Burna Boy. That Afro beat and reggae collab. I think that was really, really dope. It's you got the return of Mansa Musa. He got a record with Chris Brown called Open Wide and Shanisa. That's kind of like an R&B reggae type of vibe, with hip hop. That was a cool record. I like that one. The Hive with Gigs. That was all right. Homage, not one of my favorites. I'm honestly not a Kodak fan. No disrespect to Kodak if he ever comes across to see this. It's just, I'm just not a fan. Legend with Moray. That was a cool record. I like Moray. I think him and Busta on that record pulled it off, pretty well. And surprisingly, he went back and got Big Tigger on the last track. If you don't know, now you know. So overall, I'm gonna just say Busta's album was decent. It was average, So, but if you want, I would tell you to check it out for yourself because maybe that's something you might like, But for me, it was just average. We got some hit singles, some street bangers that dropped as far as what dropped on today. We got AZ came back with a record with Fat Joe called How We Get It, produced by the legendary Buck Wild. Buck Wild has always been one of my favorite producers out of Brooklyn, and I feel like he's one of the most underrated producers because he got so many bangers with the legends, but he's not mentioned with the legends, and I don't get that. I mean, he got records with Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, AZ, the whole Digging in the Crates crew, right. OC, Big L, it's like Big Pun, like it's Fat Joe. So the record is, it's a street banger. When you get AZ, you got Fat Joe and you got Buck Wild. This is a strictly New York street banging record. It ain't really much else you can say behind that. We got Gucci Mane and BG dropped a new record produced by Mike Will Made It called Cold. I'm not gonna lie, I actually like this record a lot. I'm not the biggest Gucci Mane fan. I've always respected his work ethic because, like I said, he put out over 100+ projects in his career, from mixtapes, EPs, compilation albums, studio albums, and still dropping it and still relevant. So I gotta give him respect for that. BG, everybody know, welcome home. BG been gone about 10 years. So, he just got his foot back in the game. So, I would recommend, y'all check out that song. It's definitely a banger. And the last joint we're going to get into is Baltimore's own, YG Teck featuring Young Moose. He dropped a new song, Raw Dope, Walk Down Freestyle. Honestly, bro, this is a banger. I always say, YG Teck is the greatest, rapper from Baltimore. Like, he's the GOAT as far as Baltimore rap. Cause he just represents us so well. And when you listen to him, you can hear him like pouring out his pain, even if it's a a more mainstream type record. He could be talking about cars, clothes, jewelry. It's like he got that voice. Like when you listen to it, you know he mean it. So, and definitely Young Moose. I always been a fan of him. Even one of my friends, my younger homies, had put me on to him. The first time I heard him, I was like, oh yeah, he definitely gonna be big. So shout out to YG Teck and Young Moose. Raw Dope, Walk Down Freestyle, definitely a Baltimore banger. Check it out. So definitely I would check them out. So let's get into the chat and see who we got on here. And, let's see. As always, we got the lovely Lynette Stevens. Thank you, love, for coming through. Appreciate your support always. Lil Kim paved the way for all these new female rap artists. Facts, facts, facts. Undisputed facts. Lil Kim paved the way for every single one of these new female artists. Even the ones that dissed her, she paved the way. Facts. Not even no debate about that. Yes, that pose is iconic. Everyone want to do that. Absolutely. It's so many female artists that have done that pose that it's like, when you see that pose, you're looking at Lil Kim. Even if it's another rapper in that spot, you know that you're looking at Lil Kim. All right, my man King, thanks for coming through, big bro. Definitely the GOAT. Let's see. My man Jamal Bruce came through. Appreciate it. Laugh Out Loud average album, huh? Honestly, bro, yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, it was average to me. There's a couple bangers, like I told y'all, but yeah, it was an average album. Got my cousin Sheree coming in. Thanks, cuz, for coming through. My man Brendan Vinay, appreciate you, big bro, coming through. DITC, definitely. Buck Wild gave them so many classics. I mean, it's everybody in DITC got a Buck Wild classic, from Showbiz and AG, OC, to Fat Joe, to Big L, everybody. Let's see, we got here. Got Mark Davis. Appreciate you coming through, bro. My man Quan Newwalk definitely came through. Jay Good, thanks Jamila for coming through. Appreciate it. Let's see who else on here. Okay. Oh, okay. Trevor Kuntz, appreciate you coming through, bro. So, this looks like we got everybody in the chat. I thank everybody for coming out. So this is a 2-part, segment. So y'all got the flashback, 2 classics from the female and the male artists. Plus y'all got the Friday releases and reviews. So, I'm going to be back Monday with them Hot Topic Mondays. We're going to talk about what's going on in the culture, give our perspective on it. As always, if you haven't done so, go to that YouTube channel, 410 Josh, hip hop _4123. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. Y'all have a great weekend and a happy Saturday and a safe Friday night for y'all if y'all going out. I will see y'all on Monday. Peace.